Canadian Owen Hart, known as the Blue Blazer, was killed performing a pre-match stunt.
Over the years, we've lost some incredible talents far too soon. Legends who should still be here today, but instead left us with only memories. In this video, we'll look back at 10 WWE wrestlers who tragically died young, reflecting on their careers. 1. EddieGuerrero. EddieGuerrero was one of the most beloved wrestlers of all time. Born into the famous Guerrero wrestling family, Eddie carved out his own legacy with his charisma, high-flying style, and undeniable passion for the business. Fans loved his lie, cheat, and steal persona, which made him both entertaining and relatable. His crowning moment came in 2004 when he defeated Brock Lesnar at No Way Out to win the WWE Championship, a triumph that brought the crowd to tears. But Eddie's life wasn't without struggles. Behind the scenes, he battled substance abuse for years, though he eventually turned his life around and openly shared his redemption story. Tragically, on November 13, 2005, Eddie was found dead in his hotel room in Minneapolis. The cause was acute heart failure, brought on by years of stress and previous issues with addiction. He was only 38 years old. His death shocked the wrestling world, leaving fans and fellow wrestlers heartbroken. Today, Eddie Guerrero is remembered as one of the greatest performers to ever step inside the ring, a man whose energy, humor, and heart will never be forgotten. 2. Owen Hart. Owen Hart was part of the legendary Hart wrestling family and was considered one of the most technically gifted wrestlers in the world. Known as the King of Hearts, Owen could adapt to any style, whether it was fast-paced matches against cruiserweights or technical battles against heavyweights. Fans especially remember his feuds with his brother Bret Hart, which produced some of the most emotional matches in WWE history, including their classic at WrestleMania X. But Owen was more than just a great wrestler. He was loved by everyone backstage for his humor, kindness, and ability to make people laugh. He never needed to be the loudest star. His talent and personality spoke for themselves. Tragically, his life was cut short on May 23, 1999, at the Over the Edge pay-per-view. Owen was set to make a dramatic entrance as his Blue Blazer character, descending from the rafters. The stunt went horribly wrong when the harness malfunctioned, causing him to fall nearly 80 feet into the ring. Despite immediate medical attention, Owen was pronounced dead at just 34 years old.
I have the unfortunate responsibility to let everyone know that Owen Hart has died.
His death remains one of the most tragic moments in wrestling history, leaving behind not only his fans but also his wife and young children. 3. Umaga. Edward Fatu, better known to WWE fans as Umaga, was one of the most dominant big men of his era. Part of the famous Anoa'i family, which produced legends like The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Yokozuna, Umaga carried on the family legacy with his own unique presence. Billed as the Samoan bulldozer, he was presented as an unstoppable monster who destroyed anyone in his path. His rivalry with John Cena in 2007 is still considered one of his career highlights, especially their last man standing match at the Royal Rumble, which showcased his toughness and athleticism despite his massive size. Behind the character, though, Umaga was known as a soft-spoken and kind man who loved his family. Unfortunately, like many wrestlers, he struggled with the physical demands of the business and the toll it took on his body. On December 4, 2009, Umaga tragically passed away after suffering a massive heart attack, later linked to acute toxicity from painkillers. He was just 36 years old. His sudden death stunned fans and the wrestling world, cutting short a career that had so much left to give. 4. Brian Pillman. Brian Pillman was a trailblazer in professional wrestling, remembered for his fearless attitude and innovative style. Before entering wrestling, Pillman had been a college football standout and even played briefly in the NFL, but it was in the ring where he truly found his calling. As part of the Hollywood Blondes alongside stunning Steve Austin, Pillman showed his charisma and ability to shine on the microphone. Later, he became known for his loose cannon persona, a groundbreaking character that blurred the lines between reality and fiction. His unpredictability made fans question whether what they were seeing was scripted or real, influencing the future of wrestling storytelling. However, Pillman's career and life were plagued by injuries, especially a severe ankle injury from a car accident that forced him to work through constant pain. Despite his struggles, he kept performing, determined to keep his dream alive. On October 5, 1997, just hours before a WWE pay-per-view, Pillman was found dead in his hotel room at the age of 35. The cause was later ruled as heart disease, which had run in his family. 5. Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit was once celebrated as one of the greatest in-ring performers in wrestling history. Known as the Canadian Crippler, Benoit earned respect worldwide for his technical wrestling ability, intensity, and dedication to his craft. His career highlights include winning the 2004 Royal Rumble and later capturing the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 20 in an emotional triple threat match alongside Shawn Michaels and Triple H. That victory, followed by Benoit celebrating in the ring with his best friend EddieGuerrero, is remembered as one of the most emotional moments in WWE history. However, Benoit's legacy was forever overshadowed by tragedy. On June 24, 2007, the wrestling world was shaken when Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their young son Daniel were found dead in their home. Investigations revealed that Benoit had murdered his wife and son before taking his own life. The shocking events were later linked to severe brain damage from repeated concussions, combined with possible steroid use and mental health struggles. He was only 40 years old. While his in-ring career was remarkable, his death left behind a dark shadow over the wrestling industry, sparking debates about concussion safety, mental health, and the pressures faced by wrestlers. 6. Curt Hennig. Curt Hennig, better known to WWE fans as Mr. Perfect, was one of the smoothest and most technically gifted wrestlers to ever step inside the ring. His character was larger than life, cocky, confident, and always insisting he was perfect in everything he did. But the thing was, he often backed it up, from his flawless drop kicks to his ability to make his opponents look like stars. Hennig was admired by both fans and fellow wrestlers. Some of his most memorable moments include his Intercontinental Championship reigns and his legendary vignettes where he would show off his perfect skills in sports and everyday life. Beyond his charisma, Curt was respected for his wrestling psychology and ability to tell a story in the ring. Many wrestlers considered him one of the best of all time. Tragically, on February 10, 2003, Curt Hennig was found dead in his hotel room at just 44 years old. The cause was a cocaine overdose, which highlighted the struggles many wrestlers faced with pain, addiction, and the demands of the business. His passing was a huge loss to wrestling, as he was still active and mentoring younger talent. Mr. Perfect's legacy lives on as a performer who truly made wrestling an art form. 7. Yokozuna. Rodney Inoue, famously known as Yokozuna, was a true giant of WWE in the early 1990s. Despite being billed as a Japanese sumo wrestler, he was actually part of the legendary Samoan Inoue family, the same dynasty that produced The Rock and Roman Reigns. At over 500 pounds, Yokozuna was an imposing figure, but his agility for a man of his size amazed fans. He reached the peak of his career in 1993 when he defeated Bret Hart at WrestleMania 9 to win the WWE Championship, only to drop it moments later to Hulk Hogan in one of the most controversial finishes in WWE history. Still, Yokozuna went on to become a two-time WWE champion and a Royal Rumble winner, cementing himself as a dominant force. Behind the scenes, Yokozuna was beloved by his peers for his sense of humor and generosity. Sadly, his size also became his greatest health challenge. Struggling with weight issues, his health steadily declined. On October 23, 2000, while on a wrestling tour in London, Yokozuna passed away in his sleep due to pulmonary edema, essentially fluid in the lungs. He was just 34 years old. His death shocked the wrestling world, as many believed he still had more to offer both inside and outside the ring. 8. Test. Andrew Martin, better known by his ring name Test, was one of WWE's rising stars during the late 1990s and early 2000s. Standing at nearly 7 feet tall with a powerful build, he was pushed as part of the Attitude Era's new wave of talent. Test had several memorable storylines, including his romance angle with Stephanie McMahon in 1999, which was famously interrupted when Triple H revealed their shocking marriage in Las Vegas. He also found success in the ring, winning the Intercontinental Championship, Hardcore Championship, and multiple tag team titles throughout his career. Despite his potential, Test's career and life were filled with setbacks. He struggled with injuries that slowed down his momentum and later faced personal battles with substance abuse. Though he briefly wrestled outside WWE after his release, he never regained the same spotlight he once had. Tragically, on March 13, 2009, Andrew Martin was found dead in his apartment in Tampa, Florida, just days shy of his 34th birthday. The cause was an accidental overdose of prescription pain medication. His untimely death highlighted the ongoing issue of prescription drug abuse in wrestling. Fans remember Test as a talented big man who had the tools to be a main event star, but whose life ended far too soon. 9. Randy Macho Man Savage. Randy Savage was one of the most colorful and charismatic figures in wrestling history. Known for his flamboyant outfits, deep voice, and signature "Ooh yeah" catchphrase, Macho Man captivated fans from the 1980s through the early 2000s. He had unforgettable rivalries with Hulk Hogan, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and Ultimate Warrior. One of his most iconic matches was against Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3, widely regarded as a masterpiece of storytelling and athleticism. Savage also won multiple championships, including the WWF Championship and Intercontinental title, cementing his legacy as a top-tier performer. Outside the ring, Savage was passionate about his family, particularly his daughter Madison. Sadly, his life ended abruptly on May 20, 2011, when he suffered a sudden heart attack while driving in Seminole, Florida. The heart attack caused his car to veer off the road and crash, resulting in his death at 58 years old. Although older than some other wrestlers on this list, his passing was still considered untimely by fans. Randy Macho Man Savage is remembered not only for his in-ring talent and larger-than-life personality, but also as a wrestler who pushed the boundaries of showmanship in professional wrestling. 10. Chris Candido. Chris Candido was a talented and versatile wrestler who left a mark in WWE, WCW, and ECW. Known for his hard-hitting style and technical ability, Candido was part of several memorable tag teams, including the Body Donnas in WWE, alongside Skip, where they won the Tag Team Championship. Later in ECW and WCW, he showcased his toughness and adaptability, earning respect from fans and peers alike. His dedication to wrestling was evident in every match, as he consistently gave it his all, whether in high-profile matches or smaller promotions. Tragically, Candido's life was cut short following an unfortunate injury. On April 28, 2005, while wrestling in a match for the independent circuit, he broke his leg. Though he underwent surgery, complications arose shortly after. On April 28, just days after his injury, Chris Candido passed away at the age of 33 due to a blood clot related to the surgery. His death shocked the wrestling community, as he was widely regarded as a rising talent with many years left in the business. Today, Chris Candido is remembered as a gifted performer whose passion and commitment to wrestling never wavered, even in the face of physical and personal challenges. These 10 wrestlers left us far too soon, but their impact on WWE and the hearts of fans around the world will never be forgotten. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more deep dives into wrestling legends, their unforgettable moments, and the stories the world rarely remembers, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload.